Let's talk about reproduction in plants. Similar to animals and human beings that reproduce, plants need to ensure their survival on Earth. The presence of plants on our planet gives its beauty of greenery around us, and they provide us with clean air, food, and water. How do plants grow and reproduce? Let's talk about the reproduction in flowering plants. We see many flowers around us that are colorful and attractive. Have you ever wondered what flowers are for? They produce fruits that have seeds from the reproductive parts. Flowers that have male and female reproductive parts are called complete flowers. Examples of these plants are gumamela, stargazer, tomato, and morning glory. On the other hand, incomplete flowers are flowers with only either male or female reproductive parts present in them. Watermelon, cucumber, and papaya plants have incomplete flowers. Let's get to know about the parts of a complete flower.
Petals. They give the flower its unique shape and are often bright in colors to attract insects. Sepal. It is a small part growing at the base of the petals that look like tiny leaves. Receptacle. It is the thickened part at the bottom which holds the major organs. Stamen is the male organ of the flower consisting of two parts. Anther is responsible for the production of pollens or the fertilizing part of a flower. Filament is the stalk that holds the anther and attaches it to the flower. The pistil is the female part of the flower. It is made up of the following: stigma, tip of the pistil wherein pollen land during the pollination. Style, it is the part that holds the stigma in place. Ovary, located at the bottom part of the pistil, that contains the ovules. These are the flower's eggs.
There are 4 processes known in sexual reproduction of plants. They are pollination, fertilization, seed dispersal, and germination. Let's talk first about pollination. Pollination is the process by which pollens are transferred from the anther to the stigma of a flower, thereby enabling the fertilization and reproduction in turn. Pollen transfer is possible with the help of pollinating agents. The agents of pollination are some insects like bees, butterflies, beetles, birds, and other mammals too. The wind also acts as an agent of pollination, as well as the water. Flowers produce a sweet liquid rich in energy, called the nectar, that becomes food for insects that act as pollinators. There are 2 ways by which pollination happens: the self-pollination and the cross-pollination. When pollens reach to the stigma coming from the anther of the same flower, that is called self-pollination. And when pollens reach the stigma of another flower of the same kind or species, it is called cross-pollination. Now let's go to the second process known in sexual reproduction, the fertilization. When pollens from the anther of the stamen joins with ovules present in the ovary, it is called fertilization. And fertilization forms the seeds inside the ovary. After fertilization, the ovary changes into a fruit. That is why seeds are inside the fruit. Examples of fruits and seeds are the mungo beans, rambutan, and mahogany seeds. Let's go to the third process, the dispersal of fruits and seeds. Young plants that came from fruits and seeds may crowd each other and compete for light, water, and nutrients. Therefore, they need to be scattered away or dispersed from their original plants. The process is called fruit and seed dispersal. There are several methods of fruit and seed dispersal. One is the dispersal by wind. Fruits and seeds dispersed by the wind are usually light. They also have wing-like structures that allow them to remain up in the air for a longer period of time. Second is the dispersal by water. When a coconut falls from a tree into water, it floats and travels with the waves. It gets deposited far away and there grows into a new plant. Another method of dispersal is by splitting or explosive action. There are fruits and seeds that have walls that open forcefully when they became ripe. Because of this, their seeds shoot far away from the parent plant. Some examples are the kapok seed, bean pods, rubber tree fruit, and squirting cucumber. There are also fruits and seeds dispersed by animals and humans. Animals pass seeds out as waste material and disperse them because they are hard to digest. Fruits and seeds with hook or stiff hair structures get attached to animal hair or human clothing. Along the way, they fall off and grow. And then the last process in sexual reproduction is the germination. Germination is the process wherein a seed develops into a young plant. Seeds needs water, oxygen, and enough warmth in order to germinate. Given a balanced condition, it will grow and become a seedling. Now let's go to the reproduction in non-flowering plants. Plants like ferns and mosses do not have flowers and seeds, but they can still reproduce. When you look at the underside of a mature fern or the end of the moss stalks, there are clusters of dark dots. They are actually spore bags. Similar to seeds, spores will become fern plants and mosses if the conditions are favorable to them. Now let's tackle about the other methods of plant reproduction. In the previous topic, we have learned that plants have parts that are very important to facilitate plant reproduction. However, there are plants that have no male and female gametes involved. These plants undergo what is called as asexual reproduction. In this process, the genes of the single parent plant are duplicated in the new plants. This can happen by approximous or vegetative reproduction. And vegetative reproduction can be done in two ways, naturally and artificially. Natural vegetative propagation means the use of vegetative parts of the plant like underground stems, suckers, and leaves for plants to propagate on their own without the help of humans and other interventions. The following are some examples. The first one we have is a sucker. Suckers have buds that grow at the base of the parent plant stem. Then, a shoot comes out of the small bud. Example of these are bananas and pineapples. Next we have is the stem, which is further divided to bulbs, rhizomes, stolons, tubers, and corms. Bulbs have short stems and fleshy leaves
that are attached to the upper stem where the buds are. Example of this is an onion. Then we have rhizomes. Rhizomes are underground stems that grow sideways and produce the shoot and roots of a new plant. Example is a ginger. Stolons, also called as runners. They have slender stems that grow horizontally on the ground. They gave rise to roots and vertical branches or shoots at some points. Strawberry is one of its examples. Tubers. Tubers are the swollen parts of rhizomes that form from buds and grow shoots. Examples include potato and cassava. On the other hand, corms have solid bulbs or basal plate without leaf bases. Examples include gladiolus and taro plant, or commonly known as gabi. Let's go to the leaves as the vegetative part. They usually have a thick and fleshy leaves that develop buds at the edges when mature. The leaf buds detach from falling to the ground to become individual new plants. An example is a katakataka plant. This time, let's tackle about artificial vegetative propagation. It refers to the method of reproducing plants from parts of mature older plants that is done through human intervention. It can be done through cutting, layering, and grafting. The first method is cutting. A part of the plant that is mature is cut. It could be the leaf, stem, root, or the whole portions are replanted. They are buried in soil that is moist and in their natural position. Now, a new independent plant has appeared. Next is layering. A branch that is closer to the ground is pulled even more closer to it and covered with moist soil. The tip is left uncovered above the ground. Roots then start to appear or develop from the covered part of the branch and becomes a new plant. The third one is called grafting. The stems of two different plants are joined together to produce a new plant, with the characteristics of both. The stems are diagonally cut and joined together where they fit. A piece of cloth is tightly bound on them, or usually a plastic bag material. The diameters of both stems joined together should be the same.